What is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome to a live in the flesh episode of the Urban Renaissance Man. I am your host, Adrian Lawson, aka the Urban Renaissance Man. And today I have a guest with me, my homeboy.
I'm a fucking co-host, Chris Allen.
That's right, yeah.
New edition.
Yeah, new edition of Real Nigga Radio. We have Mr. Chris Allen. So he's going to chop up some game with me. You know what I mean? So we're going to start doing live episodes or let me say rather episodes you can see us, if you call that live, here on YouTube, probably once a week. And we're just going to talk about different stuff. We're going to talk about different experiences that we have and just different shit that we're going to talk about, man. So this first episode of a real video, we're going to talk about practical solutions versus theoretical solutions. And we actually were inspired by this topic by a recent conversation we had with some of our peers. And if you guys don't know, me and Chris are both students at the historic Texas A&M University. So that's where we're broadcasting from now. And so we were having a conversation with one of our peers, and this is kind of, I don't know, I kind of let Chris maybe tell y'all about it. So, Chris, what were they saying, Phil?
The conversation we had yesterday outside.
Yes, we had a conversation outside, yeah.
So, at A&M, whatever, we were talking about, me and Adrian didn't know fully about the situation, but when we were told, like, one of the ladies or student workers or whatever, basically somebody who works in the Department of Diversity at Texas A&M, was like on record, been caught on record saying the N-word.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually going to put that up right now.
So then, like, my thing is like, first the argument came about that, like, some people don't know that the N-word is a bad word. Everybody knows nigga is a bad word. In today's age, everybody knows.
If you're over the age of 12, you should know nigga's a bad word.
Everybody does. So that argument kind of was like, okay, so we done established it was a bad word. So it became to the point where it was like, we shouldn't hold people accountable for mistakes that they made when they were young. She was a young child.
Yeah, she was like, 12 years old when she said
yeah. And I agree with that because I've done like stupid shit when I was young. Everybody does.
Hell yeah.
So you shouldn't be held accountable. But what my argument came about was like, one, it contradicts yourself to have somebody working in an office of diversity where black students or black people are really like a key component in that office.
For sure.
And the person that works in there is saying the N-word, like saying nigga, and is on record saying nigga.
Yeah.
And then it made me bring up the point to where it was like, which is something brings about to where this video is about. If I was on record saying a gay slur like faggot,
right,
no matter how young I was or whatever, I would never be able to work in an office of like LGBT that from like is supposed to uplift and represent the LGBT community. I would never be able to work there because they wouldn't let me work there, and two, it contradicts yourself to be on record saying faggot and stuff like that, stuff that degrades the gay community, and then you turn around
and work at a place.
A place that's supposed to be uplifting the gay community.
Yeah, and that goes right into the topic, which is practical versus theoretical solutions. So in a theoretical sense, or like a perfect world sense, something you said when you was 12 or 11 or whatever the hell shouldn't be held against you when you're 21 or 25. So in a theoretical sense, that is something that's true. You say, well, at 12 years old, I'm, immature. I don't know things, so therefore I shouldn't be held accountable for some of the stuff I say.
I was fucking around saying
me too, boy. I was calling niggas queer.
Nigga, I called my fucking daddy a cop by but I thought this shit was okay.
So that is exactly the point. Like when you that age, you say stupid shit because you're immature, you're childish. But so in a theoretical sense, yeah, you shouldn't be held accountable for what you said when you was 12.
Yeah,
So,
because people change. I honestly believe people change.
they do.
But
Yeah.
in the world we live in,
Yes.
people don't really give. Well, let me say it to you this way. People don't think, I guess, that black people, when it comes down to situations dealing with black people, it's never about did he fucking change.
Yeah, it's always about he said it.
He said
he can't do it.
He can't do it.
Prime example, the Kevin Hart situation. When they pulled back 10 years ago when he said some gay jokes, and then from that he couldn't host the Oscars.
Yeah, and the Oscars isn't even something that's supposed to uplift. It's not technically an LGBT.
Yeah, it's not at all. Yeah, not at all. It's for everybody.
It's for everybody.
Yeah, so that's a prime example. But kind of what we're saying is what ends up happening usually is that when it comes to black folks, we always forgive and don't hold folks accountable for things they've said in the past. But then when it comes to us, on the flip side, they always hold us accountable. So what me and Chris are saying with the practical versus theoretical solutions is that in a theoretical sense, no, you shouldn't hold folks accountable. But in a practical sense and in the world we live in, that's just something you have to do if you want to compete with those in, other societies.
Yes, because if we were in a white, if I wanted to go work somewhere that promotes white people, uplifts white people, I can't be on record saying fuck crackers, shit like that. Excuse my language.
Yeah,
but
we'll live it out.
You can't be on there saying racial slurs about white people. And that just goes for anything. If you on record saying fuck Foot Locker, they sell dirty ass shoes, this and that and other, like slandering Foot Locker, that's not equivalent to a racial slur. But 9 times out of 10, you won't be able to work for Foot Locker because shit.
For sure. Because in a practical sense, that's just what folks do. They're not going to allow you to come to their organization if you shit on them.
Yeah.
But black folks do.
Yeah, black people shit. If a white dude came in here and called you and was on the internet calling people niggas, we feel the need that we should allow them we should give them a second chance. And I honestly believe in second chances. But the thing about the second chances, I know if we give him a second chance, they ain't gonna give me the same second chance. It was the opposite way around.
It's not a reciprocal exchange.
Yeah, so
when it comes to you, it's not that way.
So I used to be at the point where I was like, okay, yeah, we should do that. We should get a second chance and stuff like that. But the more and more I research whatever, have these conversations, it comes to the point where it's like, well, shit, maybe we do have to start treating people how they treat us.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah, you should do. To me, my thing is you should do unto others as they do to you. Exactly. If this is the way folks treat you, then that's how you should treat them.
That's how it works. That's the way it works. And my thing is black people get mad at other black people when black people say shit like this.
Yeah, they do.
And it's like we ain't doing. We not saying nothing not to
Yeah,
we ain't saying nothing to harm people. We just saying the same way they hold us accountable and the same way they don't allow us to do shit.
We should do the same.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you know what? And I think this idea of this whole thing of a practical solution versus theoretical solution, this really is what separates, I believe, a lot of radical thinking black people from more liberal. I feel like it's just based on this one idea. Liberal black people are those who align themselves with, so-called liberal ideas. They look at things in more maybe of a theoretical sense.
Just say MLK versus Malcolm X. One was more
practical.
One was more, okay, we got to be not submissive. I mean, it was to a sense submissive, but it was more so we got to come together. We got to explain ourselves.
Right.
We got to do righteous on others even when they do wrong upon you.
Correct.
And the other one was more so well, fuck you.
Yeah.
If you gonna treat me wrong, well, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yeah.
And it's not. I ain't saying you gotta be violent about stuff, but it's sometimes you gotta hold your nuts.
Yeah, and sometimes you gotta let other folks hold their own nuts.
Yeah. If I went, and then the other thing about the situation, it kind of looked bad like not I would say black people.
Yeah.
Because you got somebody up there working in the office that done said like nigga and stuff like that, even though they're playing with the shit, but everybody knows niggas a bad word.
Yeah.
And it's not like you I really don't I mean I should care, but I don't care that that she said the N word because like you said, people can change. But it's the fact that you work in an office where you're supposed to promote black people and stuff like that. And when this situation was brought about, if the situation never came up, then I wouldn't care because I wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
But when the situation came about and we were put on like notice about it, and you still working in that place where it's supposed to promote black people, that look bad kind of on black people because it's like, well, damn, shit, we gonna keep letting other folks. You can say nigga and not get in trouble for it.
Yeah. And just to kind of clarify, the chick he's talking about is a lady named Amy Sharp, and she is actually the student body president at Texas A&M. So I had to put on blast. Well, you know, this is a public show. Look, this is a public university. Look, like I say, this is a public university. All this shit is public record. The lady's name is Amy Sharp, and she is the student body president at Texas A&M University right now, February 2019.
And I honestly don't have a problem with you being a president, even though it still doesn't. If you don't represent, like I said, people change.
They do.
So I don't have a problem with you being a president, but you should not be working in a place
in diversity
that promotes where a lot of black people go to.
Yes. Or
people of color go to.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be working in there if you on record saying nigga.
Yeah. In a practical sense, no.
At all.
In a practical sense, no, you shouldn't be.
And what?
But theoretically, I guess you could.
Like I said, what made it kind of, I started like, sometimes, you know, like I said, you're not supposed to put emotion into an argument.
Yeah.
The more and more I like hear when black people, when I talk to other people of like, who are black with them, it always come off like this situation all kind of still boil back down to like being when black people are like inclusive and always so forgiving about stuff when other races, minorities, social groups, they aren't forgiving about it. They aren't inclusive about it.
For sure.
And I'm like, well, shit, those other like groups of people where they're flourishing while black people, I ain't saying we in piss poor shape, but we ain't doing too good.
In comparison to them, yeah.
Yeah, we ain't doing too fucking good, and we wonder why. But sometimes, like, shit, everything ain't meant to be inclusive. Everything ain't meant to be forgiving. Sometimes people have to be held accountable, and sometimes people can't. Shit, like sometimes, motherfucker, you just can't be fucking black.
Yeah.
You can't be in.
You can't be in our shit. I think what he's saying is we gotta start being selfish sometimes.
Yeah.
And just only including black folks in certain things and letting them other groups kind of hold their own mess.
Just being fucking, because I am I sound kind of radical, but I don't have a problem with that. Because, like, when we say stuff like this, it's not like some, oh, fuck white people type shit.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Yeah,
we're just saying, if you look at how all these other groups are like, these flourishing groups, the ones that people say are flourishing, are doing good.
Like Jewish community,
Asian community, even white people.
Yeah, white community, obviously, yeah.
Even down, you can boil down to your Greek organizations, stuff like that, orgs around school. For example, Jewish people do not, if you said something bad about Jewish people, I guarantee you Hitler would never be, Hitler's grandchildren, great-great-grand, if you are a descendant of Hitler, you or pretty much, if you're a descendant of a Nazi, I ain't gonna say a German, but any descendant, you would never be able to work for something, or I would say a Jewish company,
probably,
or somewhere, well, not even a Jewish company, but somewhere that promotes Jewish people or has anything
I would
with
go
Jewish
as
people.
far as to a Jewish company. If you were a German, I would say this. If you were a German person and somewhere out there you have it where you can trace your lineage back to Hitler, you will not, and it's public record of you saying that, you will not work at no type of Jewish org, company, whatever, for sure. But,
I'm just like, well, shit. We shouldn't be so inclusive about everything. We shouldn't be so forgiving about everything because these other groups don't do it. And yeah, you can say, well, you shouldn't treat people how they treat you.
Yeah.
But we've seen what treating people
with respect got us.
Yeah, where it got us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas you've seen people who actually fought back and retaliated. They ain't doing. I mean, well, Haiti is kind of poor, but they broke out of slavery way before African Americans technically did.
For sure. 1804.
So that is like being forgiving and stuff like that because, like I said, Asians when has an Asian ever invited a black person to do something? Now you have Asian people who I ain't saying they like
on an individual basis.
Yeah. But if you have an Asian group and it's about something dealing with Asians, they aren't seeking to invite black people.
That's sure not. You're exactly right.
At all.
Yeah, you're right.
And I guarantee a black person would never be in charge or in a position of power amongst an Asian group.
Because that's a practical. I mean, but that's just how things are done practically, and it always goes back to the topic of the show. Practical versus theoretical things. Black folks, at the end of the day, have to start thinking more practical and not in some theoretical.
Like this fantasy world, everybody ain't nice, everybody ain't.
They're not like
how you think.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, we have to be more practical so that way we can get practical benefits.
And being selfish with stuff is not like it's not a negative thing.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. If I say I want to eat this fucking donut or this candy for myself and not share it with somebody, that's not being selfish.
Yeah,
that's looking out for yourself.
Looking out for yourself. Yeah, like there's an old saying. There's a scripture in the Bible talking about how your cup, overflow with blessings, and it talks about how what's inside that cup is supposed to be for you. Yeah. But what overflow, that's what you can get to other folks. You know what I'm saying?
I was just like,
but what's in the cup, your cup needs to be full.
Like I said, why do we feel the need to be so forgiving?
I don't know.
And inclusive about everything.
Well, you know what? This is what I think. I was talking about the other day. I think we have deep down, a lot of black people have this need and desire and want to be accepted by white people. Deep down, I don't know what it is, but we just want white people just to like us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's something we got to shake.
Whether you realize it or not, white people indirectly like fucking black people. All our culture is appropriated by white people.
For sure.
So how much more do you want them to say, well, damn, I love fucking black people. Every time you see a white person.
They fucking ass.
Yeah, I love black people every time you see a white person.
Yeah.
And you being not like selfish or selfish is putting your needs first. You putting your needs first.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. And putting your race first, because we've seen when it came down to it, white people have these differences, but at the end of the day, they still put their race before anything. Now, gay people, what they value most, which is their sexuality, they put that first. So what's wrong with black people want to put their stuff first?
Right. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with that, and that's something we should do. You know what I'm saying? Right. I guess we're gonna wrap this thing up. That's today's show. Like I said, practical solutions versus theoretical. We'll see y'all next time with the next video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Y'all boy check me out.
Boy's a clown. Yeah.